It's a safe bet that this Netflix documentary, which focuses on the gripping disappearance of Shanann Watts and her 2 young daughters in August 2018, is already on every true crime fanatic's list. Here's what we learned about the Chris Watts case from American Murder: The Family Next Door. The details of this case are extremely disturbing. Some viewers may find this story upsetting. One of the most disturbing aspects of American Murder: The Family Next Door is the fact that immediately before Shanann's disappearance, she was blessed with what most families would treat as some good news. She and husband Chris, who already had a 4-year-old named Bella and a 3-year-old named Celeste, were expecting their 3rd child. According to various reports, sometime between May and June 2018, Shanann surprised Chris with a pregnancy announcement and filmed this reaction for social media. That resulting video, where Shanann dons a t-shirt emblazoned with the phrase, "Oops, we did it again," has now been widely circulated across news reports and social media. At the time, it seemed like the couple had been trying for another child. The clip clearly showed Chris laughing.
That's awesome.
The expecting mother later gushed about her husband on Facebook, where she called him, quote, "the best dad us girls could ask for." That was just 2 months before Shanann went missing. According to the August 7th text messages obtained by Oxygen, the expecting mother revealed that Chris had changed his mind about welcoming a 3rd child, writing, "I don't feel safe with him after what he said about the baby." Not long after Shanann's pregnancy announcement, Chris entered into an affair with his co-worker, Nicole Kessinger. According to insiders, she claimed that they only seriously started dating at the end of June 2018. This matched police records, which showed that he first put her contact information into his phone on June 14th of that year. From there, it was a whirlwind. By July, a month before the murders, Chris searched Google for when to say "I love you" for the first time in a new relationship and left Kessinger a love letter, per People. By August, Kessinger was looking at wedding dresses online. Beyond that, it didn't seem like Kessinger was willingly a mistress. She believed Chris's marriage was over and told the Denver Post that November that he wasn't wearing a wedding band when they first met. She later found out about his wife and kids, telling police that Chris claimed to be in the process of separating from Shanann. However, this may not entirely be the truth. The Frederick Police Department's discovery document, which outlined Kessinger's Google searches, found that she looked up, "Man I'm having an affair with says he will leave his wife in late July," which could signal that she may not have thought the relationship was over. With Shanann's loved-up social media posts, it's hard to imagine that her marriage was marred with some pretty deep issues. In reality, things began unraveling at the end of June 2018, as Chris was deep in the throes of his affair. A good chunk of American Murder: The Family Next Door focuses on the events and aftermath of the 5-week vacation that the family took to North Carolina around this time. There they visited Chris's parents, but Shanann's relationship with her in-laws was clearly tumultuous and a source of strain on their marriage.
So did his parents not like her?
No, they do not like her. Yeah, they do not like her. His parents do not.
According to Insider, Shanann and the kids went ahead to the Tar Heel State while Chris stayed behind to work. He ended up joining his family later on, but Shanann had already started to notice that he was acting distant. A text message revealed a massive fight the couple had after Chris's mother was allegedly less than cautious about their daughter's nut allergy. Shanann called his mom evil and, quote, willing to risk their daughter's life just to get under her skin. She also accused Chris of not really missing her. The pair's rough patch was bad enough that Shanann began to vent to friends. According to Oxygen, she canceled her baby's gender reveal party after Chris was, quote, very cold to her at an ultrasound appointment. If there's one thing the Netflix documentary did show us, it's that Shanann believed her marriage was worth saving, no matter how difficult things had been. By the time Shanann left for a business trip to Arizona on August 9th, the mother of 2 was feeling hopeful. According to Insider, Shanann told a friend that they had their best talk yet. That same day, she texted a friend a draft of a handwritten letter that she planned to give her husband. In it, she claimed that she missed the hell out of him and that she can't change what happened, but she could try to work things out with him and his parents. Unfortunately, it takes 2 people to fix a marriage, and Chris was using Shanann's time away to see his mistress, Nicole. Shanann discovered Chris's affair through a $60 charge on their shared card from a local restaurant.
And then she checked her bank statement and he went out to dinner, which that's not odd, but the total was $60-some.
She was due to return from her business trip the next day and planned to confront him, hoping that they could work together to save their marriage. Shanann kept close friends. The mother of two wasn't gone for very long when she was reported missing by her friend, Nicole Atkinson. Atkinson didn't drop Shanann home until shortly before 2 a.m. on August 13, 2018. The following day, Atkinson couldn't reach her, leaving dozens of calls and messages, so she dropped by her house. No one answered the door, but Shanann's car was in the garage. Atkinson found this strange and alerted the police, who conducted a welfare check and searched the premises after Chris let them inside. There, police found Shanann's cell phone, purse, and medication, which prompted them to open a missing persons case. Chris initially had little explanation for his family's disappearance, only claiming that Shanann had taken the girls to a friend's house. It was a neighbor who suggested the father of two was acting odd.
No.
The following day, Chris appeared on local TV and pleaded for his wife's return, saying, "If you're out there, just come back." Nicole Kessinger could have very easily been a villain, but American Murder, the family next door, taught us that Chris's mistress was actually a key part of the investigation. As the media circus surrounding Shanann's disappearance snowballed, Kessinger realized the man she had loved had lied to her. He wasn't in the midst of a divorce at all, and Shanann was 15 weeks pregnant. Kessinger told the Denver Post that she had texted Chris asking about, quote, what he had done regarding his wife's disappearance. He claimed he, quote, would never hurt his family. However, Kessinger revealed, I got to a point that he was telling me so many lies that I eventually told him that I did not want to speak to him again until his family was found. I just wanted to help. With a pregnant woman and 2 children missing, I was going to do anything that I could.
You know, how do we convince? I think she's just upset. And then
Kessinger ultimately went to the Weld County Sheriff's Office to tell the police about her affair on August 15th. She met with FBI investigators that same day, and Chris was given a polygraph test. He failed, and that's when the truth finally started coming out. Most people familiar with this case don't realize that Chris initially tried to blame his wife for the deaths of their young daughters, Bella and Celeste. He confessed to killing Shanann, but he claimed it was only because she had already smothered their children to death first. In his telling, his killing her was a passionate act of revenge. As the documentary shows, it was a story that was fed to him by officers during questioning in an effort to get him to confess to a crime.
Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann? Chicks are crazy.
In truth, Shanann had no motive to kill her kids. Earlier in the month, during the pair's massive argument, Shanann had said, "These kids are my world, and I have to protect them from the evil of the world." She didn't know the evil was actually living in her house. Here's what actually happened. Shanann returned home from her business trip in the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018. She accused Chris of cheating, and he strangled her to death. According to Insider, it was such a noisy argument that one of their daughters, Bella, actually woke up. Chris then wrapped Shanann's body in a sheet and put it into his truck. Although it took just 3 days to recover all of the bodies, it took months for Chris to come clean. He only owned up to killing his daughters during his trial in November 2018, and it wasn't even a flat-out admission. It was the consequence of pleading guilty to all 5 counts of first-degree murder. In February 2019, Chris finally shared the whole story.
Couldn't I have, saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do that? I don't know.
He claimed he drove his daughters and Shanann's body to the oil site where he worked. There he buried Shanann, smothered his 2 children, and disposed of their bodies in 2 nearby oil tanks. According to Chris, Bella's last words were devastating.
Every time I pulled my eyes, I said to see her saying, "Daddy, no," and that was it.
On August 20th, 2018, Chris Watts was officially charged with 9 separate counts after additional charges were added because of his children's young age. According to the New York Times, Chris ended up pleading guilty to all 9 charges in a deal that spared him from the death penalty. Death ultimately wasn't what Shanann's family wanted. CNN reports that her mother, Sandy, believed that it wasn't her right to take Chris's life, saying in court that his life was, quote, between him and God. Chris was given the maximum punishment, 5 consecutive life sentences with no possibility of parole.
This is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled
Though Chris, who is imprisoned in Wisconsin, was reportedly aware of Netflix's documentary, according to a report by People, he's ashamed of the documentary and the publicity that comes with it, with a source claiming, quote, he'll probably never see it.